Har du nogensinde tænkt over, hvordan det ville være, hvis du kunne åbne en virtuel port til et andet kontor eller afdeling i jeres virksomhed? Det kan være, at I har afdelinger og kontorer fordelt rundt om i hele landet, eller sågar globalt. Med et virtuelt vindue eller port til disse afdelinger kan I få indblik i livet rundt omkring, og sågar interagere med personalet og personerne på den anden side. I dag har vi Julian med fra Video Vindue til at demonstrere netop sådan en løsning.
Hi, my name's Julian Everett. I am the Business Development Manager for Video Window at Collaboration Squared. Just to give you an idea of Collaboration Squared, it's a company that's been running for 12 years. We're a small company, but a global company. And we traditionally have been doing teleconferencing and ubiquity and all that good stuff. However, in the last couple of years, we've been developing our own product called Video Window. The idea of Video Window is it's the world's first always-on video conferencing portal, and it's designed for connecting offices together. It's about an extension of physical space. It's a unique product that's particularly different in terms of how it connects remote users and physical locations together to maintain culture within your organizations. And so today what I'm going to do is take you through how Video Window could work for you and your organization, and show you how this is a great way for your organization to maintain culture and communication and collaboration in this ever-changing world. If we're going to talk about the software, this is where I get really excited. So the software, just to sort of give you an idea of what sets Video Window apart, is the fact that it's all fully automated. So the great thing with Video Window is that you would define the hours of the day, days of the week that you want your systems on for locally. So again, you would say, for example, you would set it for 8 a.m. in the morning to 5 p.m. in the evening. And again, that's fully automated. So this is what sets it apart. It's been designed to be that way so that you don't have to go in and turn on your devices and go in and do all of that. The great thing is that you get the chance to set the hours, days of the week, and off you go, and it's all fully automated. The same way, if you have an internet disconnect, for example, one of the cool things that a Video Window does is it will wait patiently if you do have such thing as an internet outage. Whereas you would find traditional systems try a couple of times and then generally give up. Video Window has been designed to specifically wait, whether that's 2 days or 2 weeks or however long it may be. So that's the first hurdle that we've managed to achieve. The second really interesting thing is the way we deal with the audio. So the audio on Video Window is actually off. So that's the speakers and microphone is actually off by default. And now the reason why we've done this is because if you were sat, and again, you can see in this image here, this is set in a common area. So if you were sat near the local device and all the speakers and microphones were on all the different devices across your groups, obviously it would be a bit of a chaos of noise. So the way we've done this is that the actual audio is off across all the devices by default. And when you're ready to join, that's when the audio will obviously kick in there. Again, just to show you a little bit about the UI and what you can actually see on screen here, we have the squares at the bottom in the bottom tray, and what these do, these represent the actual physical locations that you would have these devices in. And then above the squares, we have the circles, and these represent the remote users that you can have joining in. So this is great for hybrid working. This allows remote users to connect into that physical space. So one thing that's I just want to point out as well, which is quite interesting, is that if you have multi-party, like you can see on the screen here, we actually rotate the physical locations every half an hour. So it's great if you have multi-party, because obviously you get to see a different location. When the audio is off, it will switch and show a different location every half an hour. One of the things that I do want to point out about that, though, with the remote users, we don't include the remote users into that rotation. And the reason for that is that obviously if you were sat at home working, you don't want your head suddenly blown up on the large part of the screen in the office for that half an hour duration. So we don't add the remote users into that. So just moving forward a little bit and showing you what it's like when someone's on the call. The lady in the yellow jumper here has obviously joined the call. And when you're ready to do so yourself, it's really just a simple case of clicking join audio. And once you join that audio, it will give you the option here to either mute your mic or leave the audio there. Now, just something to point out as well, that when you're actually on a call, so if it's yourself and the lady in the yellow jumper here, what's really interesting about the way we deal with the audio is that everyone within your group, whether that's the remote users or whether that's the physical locations, they'll be able to see that you're having a conversation, but they won't be able to hear you until they actively jump in onto the call themselves. So we call this opt-in audio, and this basically allows you to have a semi-private conversation. One of the other points that we've got here, and again, just to explain a little bit about why Video Window is designed the way it is, this is more for those ad hoc, as the Americans like to call it, water cooler type conversations. So again, not for the traditional stand-up meetings. This is more for those super quick ad hoc conversations. And for this reason, we've added a timer onto this, so that when you join the audio, it will kickstart a timer here, which is a 10-minute timer. This is all fully customizable, so if you want the time to be longer or shorter, you can actually do that within the management portal. The reason we have the timer is because what we found originally was people would go up and start a conversation by clicking join audio and then walk away without leaving the audio. So we thought best practice to put a timer in there to allow it to bring it back to its original state if someone does forget to leave the audio there. And as I say, how that works is that when you get to your final 10 seconds, it will actually give you a 10-second prompt in the center of the screen. If you have a touch screen, then it's just a simple case of tapping anywhere on the screen to keep the call alive. If you do fail to miss that, then you just jump back and join the audio, and it will bring you right back where you were. And then just moving on to show you, bear with me, this screen here. So another really cool feature with Video Window, and I have to say this is probably my favorite feature, is the ability to select any of the remote users within your party or any of the physical locations. And once you select either the physical location or the remote user, what that does is it temporarily brings either the individual or the location onto the center stage of the screen for about a minute or so. And then one of the really cool aspects of this is that if they have the audio, if you have your audio on your side and you're trying to get somebody's attention and they don't have that on their side, you can actually tap anywhere on the screen on your local device. So if you tap on your local device, it will make a knocking sound on your local device, and it will actually knock through to the far side as well. So this is absolutely unique to Video Window, and it's a fantastic way to get someone's attention. And again, keeping it in line with this being a window, it's what you would do in real life. So, you know, if you wanted to start a conversation with someone, you would just tap on the window and you'd start a conversation. So this is absolutely brilliant. I use this all the time. I'm working from home most of the time, so I use this to connect into the physical space. If you don't have a touchscreen, then we do have this button here that allows you to use a mouse, for example. And what that does is that will just do 3 consecutive knocks on your local device, and again, it will knock through to the far side as well. And then moving on to show you our whiteboard. I think it's the next screen, that's right. So again, we do have a whiteboard. You've probably seen many of these whiteboards, but what's really nice with ours is it is a persistent whiteboard, so everyone within your group can collaborate on that. What you collaborate with will stay on the whiteboard until someone in the party decides to delete it. You can actually email that content to yourself as well. But one of the nice things with this is that it's semi-transparent as well. So it still keeps it in a really immersive feel, because you can still see through to the far side, which is pretty neat. And as I say, you can then email that content to yourself. When I talk about everything being fully customizable, if this is something that your customers aren't interested in having, then again, you can take away the whiteboard and other features as well. So all of that good stuff, including the way the audio behaves as well, you can change within your management portal. Just to show you another feature that we have. So we have this button here, which is an all equals view. So this is, again, if they want to be able to change to see this all equals view, you can click on this as many times as you wish. You generally find, though, that with Video Window, the main idea is to have that fully immersive feel. So most people generally go for for keeping it in this particular mode, but you do have that as an option, which is pretty nice. The other cool thing as well that we have is the ability to put each of the local devices into a privacy mode. So if there's something going on in that physical space and you actually want video window to be off for a certain period of time, it's a simple case of just going in and putting in whatever time it is. So say, for example, you wanted to have it off for 2 hours, then it would take itself out of the video window mode, put itself into a privacy mode, and then when that time's finished, it will bring itself back into the video window mode once it's finished there. Again, with this, if you do want to bring it out of that mode before the time's run out, you can just go up and tap the screen, and that will bring it out of that mode for a half an hour period as well. Another cool feature that we have at the moment is the ability to dial out. We fully understand as well that with video window, 90% of the time, you're probably going to want to keep it in its standard mode, in video window mode itself. However, we do have the ability to use this to dial out. Currently, we have this working with Zoom at the moment. So it's a simple case of going in and putting in your Zoom ID. This will take itself out of the video window mode again, off to Zoom, and you'll be able to make a Zoom call. And then when that Zoom call is finished, again, it takes itself out of that Zoom call and brings itself back into the video window mode. The important thing to note as well with the privacy mode, the sleep mode, and if the internet disconnects or anything like that, one of the really important things is with this being a window. So, for example, if you are looking through from your London office to the Stockholm office, for example, and they were in sleep mode or a privacy mode, or someone was on a Zoom call, what we actually do is always put a bit of context as to why that is the case. So you would still be able to see the circles and the squares that represent the remote users and physical locations. But it's important for us to be able to add a bit of context. So, for example, it would say that I've been in a Zoom call for 27 minutes. And again, just giving the person on the far side the ability to have a bit of context as to why they can't see that location or that individual. And then just moving on to how the calls escalate as well for you. So if it's yourself and one other person, this is the view that you would see. If somebody else then also jumps in onto the call, then we put it into this really nice split screen mode. So if there's 3 of you on a call, this is what you would see from your side. If another person jumps in, then we actually push this up into the center part of the tray there, just to sort of distinguish who's on the call and who's not on the call. The same again if it's 4 or more. If it's actually more than 5, then we do put that into an all equals view, because at this point the screen's getting quite busy. So we actually force that into an all equals if it's more than 5 of you. If you're curious to know how many you can have on screen at any one time, it's actually up to 25 people on screen at any one time, and you can have up to 100 per group. You can have as many groups as you like, but yeah, it's up to 100 per group, and we are looking to change that very soon up to about 500. So you can obviously scroll left and right here to see the other users as well, which is pretty neat. So this is again going back to the physical devices. If I show you our remote version, which is designed specifically for home workers, I'll show you this image here. It's very, very similar to that of the Office device. The two differences with this version, again, this is working on PC, Mac, and Linux. The 2 differences here are the fact that it's on a floating window, so you can actually move it around, change the size. But the most important thing from a remote user's perspective is the inclusion of a video toggle feature. So obviously for video window remote workers, the idea of privacy is hugely important compared to that of a physical location. So actually how you start your day as a remote user, you have this screen here. So same principle, you define the hours of the day, days of the week that you want your devices on for. So what happens is that this screen will appear once it sort of starts the day. But what you can see here is that your video, your live video feed is actually off at this point, and also your audio is also off at this point. So it's really just a simple case that when you're ready to start your day as a remote user, that you click on your video toggle feature, and that brings up the live feed. Your audio is still off at this point. So when you're ready to start a conversation. Again, you can select any of the remote users or physical locations and just click join audio. Now, the really cool thing with this is that we've actually been developing for Android and iOS. And the reason why this is important, I'll just go back to this image here. If this is your primary computer that you're using at home and you have video window on this, that's absolutely fine. However, if you are going to join external meetings throughout the day, you need to remember to turn your video toggle off to join these other calls. Otherwise, you would find that it's going to struggle because it's going to be fighting for bandwidth and your camera and all the rest of it. So this led us to go off and start developing for Android and iOS. And if I show you a couple of these images here, I'll scroll through and I'll show you the really important image for us here, which is, I'll get there in a second. There we go, is this image. So this is kind of how we see this working for remote users. So you'd have your main computer here for your main productivity, and again, you'd be able to join your calls. But having video window on a separate device, so either a tablet or mobile, it means basically that you can have this off to the side. It's not going to be too intrusive, but also it allows you to continue to do your main productivity without trying to share bandwidth and all the rest of it. So again, the really nice thing with this is that the option is that you can have this on mobile and tablet off to the side. The good news is we're actually giving away these licenses for free. So, excuse me, if you are purchasing the Office licenses, you can have as many remote licenses as you want. So this is our way really from Collaboration Squared to be able to give back to the global community. And how we see this is that having a remote access into that physical location is super beneficial from a mental health perspective. It allows home users to feel equalized and present and connected to those physical spaces, which in the last year and a half is clearly hugely important. But just to clarify that, we're not trying to replace the likes of Teams or Zoom. This is about an extension of physical space. So this is what sets it apart. This is what allows you to feel connected and part of something else, which is really, really important. And again, it allows you to have those, as we say, ad hoc conversations. And if you can see someone in the physical location, you'd be able to obviously wave, say hi, and if you want to jump on a call, you can do that. There's no scheduling. There's no need to create a meeting, a specific meeting for that. You can just literally tap on your screen and off you go, which is great. And that is pretty much it.